All right, I'm gonna be straight up honest with you. I can't find my GoPro batteries. I know where at least one is, and it's in my shop, my business in town, in the GoPro that I used for the light parade. But I should have 3 more somewhere else, and I just have no idea where they are. A bunch of stuff got moved around for our Thanksgiving weekend, and we had family over and stuff like that, so I don't know, and I don't have time to look for it because I'm kind of limited on what I'm doing right now. So you're getting this filmed on my iPhone. Anyways, what I'm doing tonight is fixing this problem. Yep, there's a bunch of empty floor space in here, and that's because I have finished the train, the project that I was working on for the light parade. The light parade was this last weekend, and so it's moved out, which means that I've got to get something moved in. And instead of doing the wise thing and finishing a project that I've got parts for, where are all those? On this table, here and here and here. Anyways, instead of finishing all those projects, I'm going to go ahead and start a new one. Why not? I've got an old tractor that has been down for a while. The hydraulic ram control box, I don't know what it's called, but basically what runs the hydraulics has an issue in it that I discovered a while back and wasn't sure what to do with it. And I was talking to someone, I honestly don't even remember who it was, about that, and they gave me a suggestion. I'm like, maybe that would work. So I'm going to try and look into that. But first, I've got to get it started and pulled into here, and before I can get it started and pulled in here, it's got 2 flat tires on the front of it, so I need to get them filled up. So I'm going to take that tank right there, fill it full of air, see if that gets me enough air in the tires, and see if I can't get it started and pulled in here. I'm a little worried about it getting started. It's probably been, I'm going to say, at least 2 years since it started and run, maybe even like 3 or 4. I honestly don't remember. I do remember that my son was there and helped me with it, so he was at least old enough to do that, and he's 6 years old. So anywhere between 0 and 6 years, well, I'm going to say anywhere between 2 and 6 years ago it was started, but I honestly don't remember when. So we're going to see if it'll fire up, and that'll be step A. I'm hoping that I can at least get done that tonight, pulled into here. If I get a little bit more done than that, that'll be gravy. But we're going to start with that. Okay, I've got the tank filled up. I'm going to grab one of these, which is one of the batteries off of our camper, and look who showed up. Double T showed up to give me a hand. So I'm going to grab these and that air tank. We're going to head out there and see what we can make happen. Okay, it might not show, but I've got both tires aired up to 30 psi. I've got the battery in place, so I'm going to go ahead and hook it up and see if we can get it started. Okay, that battery is completely dead. I kind of suspected that it was. The last trip that we took in that camper, it was not holding the charge. And those batteries were literally like to the month on the 5-year mark. So I kind of knew that they might be shot, but I thought they'd still at least have a little bit of juice in them. Oops, there it is. Sorry. I was gonna go to plan B, which is to take my truck over there and hook up jumper cables and see if I can jump it and get it started that way. And my keys are still in my back pocket. So I'm gonna pull over there, see if we can make that work. I didn't think we'd make a run there for a minute. She's going. I had to use 2 jumper cables in order to get enough juice. So I'm going to pull those off, see if we can get them pulled around. Here we go. Take her around to the shop, get her pulled in, and see if we can start this project. Doesn't work very good. Well, guess what this dummy did? We made it that far, but shop is right there. I forgot to open up the gas valve, or the diesel. It's a diesel. Don't get after me for that. Yeah, I forgot to open up the valve and we ran it out of diesel. So now I'm gonna have to go back around. I'm really hoping there's enough in the lines to prime it and still start it without having to suck fuel through, which I've had to do before, but we'll see. I don't know if it's gonna show up, but that sunset is absolutely, there we go, just gorgeous. Man, what a beautiful evening. All right, I don't have a lot of time. Dinner's gonna be ready here pretty quick, but I know that I need to get this plate off right here. That gets me into the hydraulic tank and where that ram is. I've already got a leak right here, as you can see. And if I remember right, when I put this back together after getting into it, I kinked an O-ring, and I thought that was on this side over here. But, oh no, that's right, because that's the side with the controls. It was this side. Yeah, I remembered that I pinched an O-ring putting it back together. And so I think that's it. So I might have to take that box off too. But right now I'm just going to focus on getting this off because it's going to be time for dinner soon. And then we can get a peek in there, kind of refresh my memory on what was going on, and we'll take it from there. Okay, take this off. And there is more in here than I remember.
What?
Just more pieces. Yeah, I'm looking in here and I can't remember, but I'm pretty sure it's that tube, that line there, tube, or whatever you want to call it, right down there that goes into the side of this block here that was leaking. What I can tell you is that this fluid looks terrible. It's like chocolate milk, or I don't know, something worse than chocolate milk, like caramel milk. It just looks absolutely terrible. But we're gonna have to drain all that out and get new hydraulic fluid anyways to put in here. But I think I'm just gonna leave this for tonight. And not pursue it any further. Because if I do, I'm gonna get into something that's gonna take much longer than what I've got time for. So I'm just gonna set this back on like that so that it's covered up. And I think we're gonna go inside and have some dinner. And I'll come back another night, hopefully when I've got a GoPro that I can do some better filming with. Okay, we are back in the shop today. I am working on the tractor. It's a Friday afternoon, so I've just got a couple of hours. Yep, just a couple hours before movie night, dinner night. And I'm gonna see if I can't get into this a little bit deeper and refresh my memory what the issue was and what I am hoping to do to fix it. So we're gonna get to it and see what we can make happen. And I think that's what was leaking. You can kind of see how that's deformed, I don't know, deformed. So I think that's helping that one there too. Pretty dried out too, but they're both kind of flattened out. So I'm hoping I'm gonna have a size. Hoping I've got a size that I can replace that with. Oh, I'm just trying to remember how this all went together here. Seems like that had to do with something too. Let's see, is that a 17? 17. Okay. Okay, so if you look down in there, there's a little bit of a collar, and there's a chunk out of it right on this side here. And I think what's happening is that when I slide the tube in, it's not sealing on that edge. That chunk is broken off, and so it's not allowing the tube to seal up against that surface, which is basically allowing the hydraulic fluid to seep past and not hold pressure. And so when you try and move the controls, so that's the line in from the hydraulic pump, is this side. And so when you try and move the controls, it's basically just allowing the fluid to bypass and not hold pressure. I hope that kind of makes sense. At least I'm pretty sure that's what the issue is. I can't guarantee that's what it is, but I'm pretty sure, because that's not how it should be. The solution that I thought I had, I don't think is going to work for that. I'm going to have to think on it for a minute, but I think the problem is that that's not gonna, the solution that I had for that isn't going to work the way that I thought it was going to. So I'm going to have to think on this for a minute. So yeah, if you compare it to the other side, you can see that collar, that ridge, is all the way around on the inside of that. But on this other side, there's a chunk of that that's broken out, right down there in that corner. So I'm not sure how to fix that, and I tried to find parts for this, but I remember it's been a while. It's been a couple years since I messed with this, but I remember at that time I tried to find parts and I just didn't have any luck. So okay, I'm gonna think on it more. I just wanted to show you that comparison. Okay, after playing around on the internet, taking this apart several times, and looking in general, the conclusion I've come to is I don't know enough about how this works to make a determination on what's wrong. I actually think what I was pointing out before, that broken collar in there, I don't think that's the problem, based on kind of what I'm seeing as far as how the system works. I could be wrong, but I don't think that is the problem, because I'm seeing a lot of other places where just a small leak like that shouldn't make that big of a difference. So I don't know enough about this whole setup and how the hydraulics on this works to really make a good decision. Yeah, I'm a little lost here. I'm not quite sure how this all works. But what that led me to is a lot of the research I did online talked about low hydraulic levels, talked about contaminated hydraulic fluid, and things like that. And that got me wondering if maybe that was the problem all along, was just that Maybe the pump isn't working right. I'm pretty sure the pump is working right, though. I think I did check that. Anyways, all that led me to, I'm wondering if maybe the hydraulic fluid is the issue and not the piston and that. So I did buy some hydraulic fluid. I think what I'm going to do is call it a night tonight. It's time to head in anyways. I'm going to put us all back together tomorrow. I'm going to try and clean out the bad fluid that's in there, this remaining stuff that's down in the bottom. Try and do my best to get that cleaned out. I think I'm going to put it all back together, fill it up with hydraulic fluid, and test it and see if it works. And maybe that's my issue. If that isn't the issue, then I'm probably going to have to get in touch with someone that's a lot smarter than I am to help out with this, because I'm kind of at a loss. I just don't know. But like I said, I'm going to call it a night tonight, head in, and just relax for the rest of the day. Probably chew on this problem a little bit more, and then see if I can come up with a better plan. And like I said, I think it's probably just going to be put it back together, fill it up, top it off, see what happens. So we're going to call it a night. Okay, I'm back in. I just got back from a run. I took my wife to lay a trail. Let me start all that over. I just got back from taking my wife to lay a trail for toner. Tomorrow morning I've got search and rescue training, and I wanted to try and lay a trail tonight that we can run tomorrow. That'll be an aged trail that'll kind of test her on. It'll end up being about 12, probably even longer than that. I guess probably about 15 hours, a 15-hour aged trail. And so we're going to run that tomorrow. But that took up a little bit extra time from getting back to this project and trying to figure this out. So this may be a really bad idea or a good idea. I think I'm going to try and start it. I think I'm going to try and start it and make sure things are circulating. So either it's going to explode and go everywhere, or it's going to be okay. But on the chance that it's going to explode and go everywhere, I think I'm going to move you away because you're quite expensive. So that hopefully you don't get covered if that's what happens. So I'm going to stick you like right here so you can watch from a distance and see if this is a disaster. Okay. I did not get lucky other than that it didn't explode and go everywhere. What I did notice is bad fluid coming up from this side, and that is the side that I noticed had that crack in it. So I'm not saying that confirms my original theory that that was the issue, but that helps substantiate that theory. So, not sure what that means, but I'm going to have to think on it for a minute. Okay, my apologies for the smoke in here, if you can even see that. I've discovered something. There's a little port on the side of that control block that if I cover it with my finger, that's where that's coming out, then the arms raise. So if you look, see how they're raised up? So something in that is not holding pressure quite right, I don't think. I'm not sure what, but I know more than I did. I also know that the pump is pumping and that there's not a plugged filter or something somewhere, because it's circulating like it should. But I'm still not understanding exactly where the issue is. Well, okay, I haven't had any more luck with it. I'm not sure what to think, but I'm gonna go ahead and stick the cap back on the hydraulic reservoir. And the good news is, with this event, I have fixed that leak that was right there, where I told you I kind of crushed that O-ring. So that's solved. So that means I can actually run this around and drive it now without it leaking out all the hydraulic fluid. But the 3-point hitch still isn't working. I'm gonna have to do a little bit more looking on that. One of the problems is I can't find any information online on this tractor. That's been a struggle. So it's a Chinese made tractor, and that's what the front logo looks like, if anybody recognizes that. On the side here on this diesel, Hubei diesel engine, the Republic of China. So if anybody's familiar with that and can put me on some leads, I really think it's that control box on the side of the hydraulic cylinder. That chip out of there, I think, is what's broken, and I don't know how to fix that. So I think I need a new control block that I can replace there. If you have any ideas on how to fix that, let me know. I'm not that good. I'm not that type of a machinist. So, but like I said, I'm gonna put this together and drive it out of here, and then maybe we'll go drive it around a little bit. What do you think, Double T? That'd be fun. Double T was pretty excited when I got this going the other day, so we might run it around for a little bit and just play. All right, it's a Saturday afternoon, and it has been a couple of very wet, snowy, cold weeks. I didn't have any big plans today other than that I fired up the fire and made it nice and toasty warm in here because I had plans to pull the tractor in here and do a little bit of work on it. But when I went to fire up the tractor, it would not fire, and then the battery ran out. So that's where I'm at now, and that's where you're coming into play, is I am now going to leave my nice warm shop, take my tools with me, and see if I can do the work outside that I was planning to do inside. I'll show you what that is, and we'll see what we can make happen. So every time I need to start the tractor, I've got to deal with this. Basically, I've got to deal with two cables that are too short, one that's just beat the heck out of, and the other one that doesn't have a connector on at all. And so it's just a real pain in the neck because I've got to try and wedge a screwdriver in there and all sorts of stuff, and that just led to my frustration when I was simply trying to pull this into the shop to work on it. So I am going to change these connectors out. I bought a couple of these, and I went for this style. We're gonna see how that works. But part of the reason why I went for this style is because I don't have a dedicated battery that I leave on this tractor, because it would just sit out here and die, and I'd go through batteries like crazy. And so I want to be able to pull the battery and take it back in the shop, put it on the minder, stuff like that when I'm not using it here quick and easy. And so I thought it'd be a good chance to give those a try, see how they work. And first problem is I don't have a big enough wrench, so let me go get a different wrench. Okay, we got them all clamped down tight. Everything looks pretty good, so let's give this thing a turn and see if it's gonna fire up. Okay. Dang it. So, cables are working good, but the battery's shot. Dang it. So I'm gonna go stick that on the charger and see if we can get that warmed back up again. Well, it's the next day. I ended up kind of giving up that day because it was cold, I was tired, and just ready to be done after couldn't get everything to start and do what I needed it to. So, but I also had to put the battery on the charger because I don't have another one, and this one was clearly dead, so I needed to get it on the charger, see if I can get some juice in it, and we'll try again here. Hop hop. So I'm gonna hike this out here real quick and connect it up. Should turn over pretty good. Hopefully I've kind of cleared the lines. I think maybe what had happened is the water fuel separator filled up, and so it was sucking water instead of fuel. I honestly don't know for sure, but I've got all that kind of purged out. We're gonna have to bleed the lines and prime the lines, see if we can get this fired up. All right, here we go. Oh, that battery's just shot. Dang it. All right, she's back there idling away. So that's good. I think fuel's coming through easy and running like it's supposed to. I think I still need to get a battery. I just need a fresh battery. That's actually the same battery that I was using on the train. That didn't seem like it was holding a great charge there either. So anyways, the main reason why I needed to get the tractor going is I've got a friend that I've been asking questions to about the hydraulic system, and he has some ideas, but he wants to see it run. He wants to come check it out for himself and kind of see what he thinks. So I wanted to make sure that I could get it started easily and that it would run easily, so that when he got here, then it would fire up and do what I needed to for him. So I think Double T wants to take it for a ride though, so we'll probably take it for a drive around the yard here real quick and just run it around a little bit. Well, that was pretty successful. If only I can get my four-wheeler to start now, then I think we'll be in good shape. But one thing at a time, I guess. So we got the tractor fired up, ran it around. Double T even drove it for a minute, so that was pretty cool. So I'm gonna go ahead and shut everything down and head inside, because it's actually my birthday today. So happy birthday to me. We've got some crab legs that we're having tonight. My wife picked those up in the big city the other day, so we're gonna have some crab leg dinner tonight, and it's gonna be good stuff. So I'm gonna shut down and go get ready for that.